This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, welcome, fellow Whovians, to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I am your host. Welcome to all of you. Welcome back to those who are coming back, and welcome for the first time if you're here for the first time. Ta-da! We've got a great show for you today. When don't we have a great show for you? Let's be honest, because we're great, right? That's why you're here. We are doing School Reunion. This is Season 2, Episode 3, the third episode of David Tennant's run with the amazing Sarah Jane Smith and not one, but two tin dogs. Or is it three? Do we count K9 twice? Anyways, I'm not here by myself, of course. We've got a wonderful team, as usual. So let's start out with our some of our usual crowd. Welcome, Candyman. How you doing?
I'm having a good waggy time. It's really hot out here. I'm going to get my doggy bowl of water and Drop it with some ranch dressing. I'm all good. Yeah, I am really loving this show. This episode, it's probably one of my favourites because, tell a secret, when I was 9 years old, I had the canine birthday cake. I love canine.
Excellent.
However, it was so heavy in the head kept on falling off. So it was like a headless canine. I had to either eat the head first or the body first. But what do you do when you're 9 years old? And talking about cakes, who else eats cakes?
Who else eats cakes? Oh, I don't know. I think Tom eats cakes. Do you think Tom eats cakes?
I've lost 3 pounds. I'm not eating a cake.
No, we can't have Tom. He's not
eating cake.
Just kidding. Hey, Tom, how's it going?
So, I have a fan on my channel who likes talking about gloves. I'm not joking. I'm serious. So, he might appear on the show, on the chat tonight. So, if you start seeing me wearing gloves, it's because he likes seeing me wear gloves. And
Johnny Cochran?
If it don't fit, I quit.
There we go. But, of course, we have some other people. No, we're just going to pull that up now because, you know.
Did you really make a Johnny Cochran joke out of it?
Yes, I did. And Tom just picked it up and ran. And
yeah, he did. He
ran so far away.
I ran so far away. Hey, folks, welcome. Tonight we're going to be doing school reunion. We got a special guest on tonight with our regular panel. So I'm really excited about this to introduce our guest and see what everybody came up with on school reunion.
Exactly. Well, let's start with Michelle returning yet again. We still haven't scared her off.
I know, and if it doesn't fit it, you must have quit.
Oh, God. Why?
I'm just really disappointed now that OJ can no longer find the real killer because every time he saw himself.
The views and opinions of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS are not necessarily what all these folks are saying here.
Well, he can't sue us. He can still vote, but he can't sue us.
Oh, God.
Dun, dun, dun. And
nobody's in for tonight.
Nope. Well, welcome to the show. Aren't you glad you signed up for this?
Wow. Okay.
We're really professional, Joe. Trust us. We
exactly.
Really are.
No problem. How you doing?
Good. Joe, tell us all about yourself. Who are you? Where are you? What you do? Why you're here?
Okay. Well, I do the podcast, the Real Beans Cast. I have thousands and thousands of videos and podcasts on Doctor Who. I have over 13,000 videos on my channel. I have multiple YouTube channels. I'm a published author of 13 books. I'm a huge PlayStation gamer, ranked 5th in America and 58 in the world, amongst other things. And I work in the health and retail industry. So
those two things only should not go together, but they do. We had a whole episode about that. We'll move. So
moving on.
Moving on. I love tormenting poor Christian. That's the best part about hosting the show is just, make Christian laugh and then put him on solo because I'm a jerk that way.
You're not a cat, are you, Dave? Cats are jerks.
And that thing in particular. All right.
Anyway.
Poor Christian. Okay, so moving on. It's been a very long day and a long week. So I'm a little crazy. Don't mind me. Let's start with some ratings, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll pop over here so I can make a note of them. And let's just randomly go Christian.
Randomly go Christian. 8.
8.
Wow.
Nice. And Candyman?
8.7 wagtails.
Oh, you just want to go last. Great. Thanks.
Oh, was that 8.7?
You ever watch The Price is Right and you get that one person who goes, you know what, $1.
Yeah.
Just
you
because I
son
think
of
you
a...
all overbid it. $1. That's
there you
Candyman.
go.
He goes, You bid $12,
would-
he's going, 11.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be like $12, it'd be like $12.50, you know what I mean?
There you go. Exactly. He really puts in the decimal point.
Tom, what about you?
8.8.
8.8. You're a jerk too. I love it. Michelle, do I hear it 8.9?
Oh,
No, I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to go 7.5.
7.5. Excellent. The only person thus far to have a solid number is Christian. So the big question is, will that
maybe
continue?
I'll
No, what do you
change it.
give it?
Just for this.
I give it an 8.5.
8.5. I like that. I like you. All right.
Thank you. At least
'Cause,
somebody does. No.
How we split this TARDIS up now? What? Am I the lower one now? I am the lower one? No, I'm not.
No, you don't. But you're again. I just like enjoy showing you face
Yeah,
palming.
did you see
because,
what Roger said? Christian's last contagious. There you go.
See, I'm
Make
giving
people
the
happy,
audience
Christian.
what they want. Big heart. They also like my
Don't
hearts.
forget to laugh. Yeah, don't forget to laugh. Don't forget to
I
like,
just-
share, and subscribe, and then laugh. Then laugh at me for screwing this up really bad.
So if you're watching, please throw your ratings in the chat.
That's right.
We'll definitely take a moment and bring that up as well. We've got a whole giant small talk of weather going on in the audience. Short version: everybody's melting.
Even in the UK.
Yep, especially in the UK.
Except today in Virginia, we're not.
Yes, exactly. You're actually moderate and dry instead of insane and humid.
Well, because the storm can't. Every time we have a tropical storm, it pushes the cool, dry air back into position for a couple days.
Next time I have to sports out that way, I'll have to make sure that we schedule a tournament around to follow a tropical storm. That's terrible.
Don't
That's a
do
terrible
it
plan.
before or during. Debbie gave us a lot of rain.
Oh, was it last year that I was there in July, or was it the summer before? No, it was last summer. I was out there running muck in, bazillion degree weather in July.
Your face melted it off.
Okay, so taking a look in here, we've got Michelle. You sure you don't want to bump it up to an 8.1?
No.
Okay, then you're first at 7.5. As much as I tried to.
No. Don't even. I hate you. Stop.
You love me and you know it.
Oh yeah, it's you.
Oh, anytime I can torment Christian, I will. And it's just
Ladies first. Ladies
first. So Michelle, 7.5. What worked? What didn't?
Okay, so I understand everyone loves this episode. It's one of those things I wish I could really love as much as everybody else. The positives: Sarah Jane Smith, K9 comes back. It's a fun adventure at the school. What I always have a problem with is how the modern era deals with returning companions, and this idea that especially the female companions are so wrapped around the Doctor that it's kind of like a romance gone bad, where they're mad and jealous that the Doctor hasn't come back, and then they meet the new companions and there's this jealousy. For me, that has always been a detracting of how some of the newer companions are written when they were brought back initially, and because also the Sarah Jane really didn't mesh with the Sarah Jane that we knew and loved, and even the Sarah Jane that we saw in the Sarah Jane Adventures. This kind of almost bitter, nasty woman. It just didn't gel well. I really much more prefer the classic era where they would have the companions come back and be like, okay, so which Doctor is your Doctor? The fifth Doctor, the five Doctor motif. Granted, I understand that in the canon of the show, the Sarah Jane doesn't remember that period and that adventure, but this I just think it felt like it took away from some of the adventure of the catfighting between Rose and Sarah Jane, and also the always kind of like portraying of females of jealousy and fighting over a guy. It doesn't age well.
No, that's valid. It's a view I've never thought about with that. I just kind of see it, and especially because they reconnected, and suddenly it's like, oh no, what the heck are we doing? They have the same realization that kind of you brought up. Why are we having this argument? This is stupid.
Yeah, and just idea that you can't be friends. It implants the idea of the Doctor as the lover versus the friend versus the companion versus the mentor, and we see that again in the bringing back of Tegan and Ace as the scorned woman. I really like how they did Jo. That Jo went on all these adventures, had a wonderful life. The Doctor checked in without always being present. And in fact, he told Jo about her future grandchild being born. But this idea that the Doctor made them better, and they went off and they did these wonderful adventures without sitting by the phone waiting for him to call them up.
No, and that's exactly what I mean. Sarah Jane kind of does a little bit of both, which is, but again, yeah, going out on your own adventures, and I think they're going more in that direction.
Yeah,
it seems with the newer stuff, because they didn't really have a lot of that. I mean, they didn't have multiple companions with the return of Donna. So
and I love how they brought Mel back, where the Doctor sees her at the desk, and she looks up and goes hi, and he goes hi, and this is like this is a very sweet reunion between the two of them.
Yeah, so I think hopefully that's going to continue, because I love seeing them come back, and even at the end of Fox, when they've got the little support group.
Oh, that was brilliant! Yeah,
that was amazing.
That was so sweet. Yeah.
To this day, I will always say, what spinoff do you want? I want Ace and Graham.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. They had instant chemistry. It's like, I remember there was another podcast joking was about Ryan was going to get a new grandma.
I love it. I love it.
Because it's like they were like almost on the first date was he never asked a woman her age. And he's like, we certainly don't. Sorry, Grace.
they really were. They were perfect. They just paired off great. And so yeah, I really hope we get more of them specifically, but old companions as as
you didn't have the jealousy. You didn't have the jealousy.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, you're a friend of the Doctor. I'm a friend of the Doctor. Cool. Let's go bash some Daleks.
Yeah. To me, it felt a little bit more like it worked a bit more because it was, again, in hindsight, because it was Rose and Rose's kind of shock in that, and the way, and that fit her personality more than it did Sarah Jane's.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he just kind of wound her up.
Yeah. Sarah Jane was going down the low tube. It's like, honey, no, you don't go down. You don't go down. When you're finding a teeny bopper who's not that smart, you don't go down that level.
Yeah. Exactly. What do we got for some? What does the audience have to say? Hello, Pop.
Welcome there. Did you want to do the ratings, or did you?
Yeah. Let's go through, and then rather than interrupt Joe, who will be going next, we'll take a look at some of these ratings and then probably do a commercial break.
Gotcha. I got Ramona a perfect 10 for the storyline and for Sarah Jane. And there's people who are going before me. There's Roger. 9.6 for me. Roger, give us a little details, what you liked and what you didn't like out there. And last man standing on his YouTube channel, Dan Hollyfield. I would give it a 9, but I don't remember anything that would keep it from being a 10. And that's a good comment right there.
So here's a thought.
Yeah.
Especially for people like Dan, who are here all the time. You know what we're doing next week, right? You have a chance to go watch it. An excuse to go watch it. Oh no, you have an excuse to go watch more Doctor Who.
All right.
Oh no. Let me pull out the real small kazoo.
So yes, hopefully, please, everybody, go watch it again and come back and talk to us about next week.
Nico Bat. Let me just make sure because I think she had a correction there. There we go. Nico says 7.5. I like the way Sarah Jane and Rose ended up being friends. K9 stole the episode for me. Okay.
That
is valid.
Yeah. Who doesn't like some K9?
So that's so far in our chat. So there are more people talking. Edward says Sylvester McCoy will be in Connecticut this weekend at Terrificon for anyone that is out in that area. So nice to know.
And Sylvester McCoy spotted this week at Dollywood in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Are you serious?
Yes, he did. He went to Dollywood.
That's awesome. He's such a wonderful man.
He is.
I love talking to him. He was great. All right. So why don't we then? It's a little early, but let's do a commercial break now. Then we don't have to worry about it. Kristen, you got this.
I got it. I'm hoping my computer is a little shaky, but we'll definitely go for it. Here we go.
All right. Then we will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Become part of the legend, and we will see you after these messages. We'll be right back.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
Hey everybody, welcome back to an all-new X's for Show, your premier show for streaming media content.
A great creative team and a great concept that is years in the making.
That's certainly one of the interesting things about this as a program.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
The silliest version of every single one.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
Everybody is so even-keeled. That is a nonsense thing that you just said.
I'm not wrong. I've seen all the films.
I get what you're saying. I hate it.
It's really ugly to call out a genius on air.
Nobody screams at each other and goes,
I will fight you! Wow, what a great moment for our show.
Truly, we did it.
This would be a great jumping on point for you.
2,000 episodes in.
Every weekend and Wednesdays.
Shows no signs of stopping.
You can check the show out at X's for Show.
Come on. I mean, we've got a show, baby. Just, you gotta trust us. It's gonna be good.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello, my name's Sylvester McCoy. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
That was our amazing Sylvester McCoy. Was that the last one commercial, Christian?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Happy Go Lucky, the last commercial you saw there before Sylvester, that's the show that I was working on in Calgary. It starts up in Edmonton at the Edmonton International Fringe Festival on Friday. You can see the times up there. From Edmonton, after that, it will go to the Vancouver Fringe. So if you're out that way, please check that out. It's an amazing show. He comes from all the way from Tokyo, and it's been an absolute joy working with her. I'm not working the show in Edmonton, but I will be up in Edmonton for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, going into the Fringe to help some people out with stuff. So by all means, stop and say hello to me there if you get a chance, but definitely go see that show. And do I still have that other graphic up here? I do not. There is also a Doctor Who show at the Edinburgh Fringe, which is still going on. So check out Doctor Who and the Queen of Doom. As part of Free Fringe, it's a work in progress. S.J. Bennett, link. So yeah, and we're back though. Thank you guys for letting us pay those bills, because that's an important thing. We need to support our friends.
We're starving.
We are starving. But if we can support our friends, and we can every now and then get some other goodness in there.
We all pick bad careers.
We did. For all intents and purposes, this is my career.
Yeah.
Speaking of careers, my favorite lines from The Simpsons is, "Don't make fun of the grad students. They're good people. They just made bad career choices."
Yeah, it's true. I'm thrilled. I just got I was waiting, and of course it happens the Monday after the Friday that I emailed them. Copy of Fables and Tables magazine. I just have a picture of it. I don't have the actual thing. Where I have an article on the Doctor Who role-playing game. So I got that in there, which was always nice. There we go. So if you're, it is primarily in the Ohio area, but if you get a chance in your friendly local gaming store to check that out, grab a copy. Hopefully I'll be in there again. We'll see. I'm doing a top 9 panel at FallCon in a couple of weeks, so I'll probably write that up and send that into them as well, so you can all sorts of fun stuff. But that being said, even though I couldn't rig it to get him to go first, the next one up is still Christian. Mwahahaha. Ha ha ha. And while Christian talks about his rating, which was
you said Joe was going next.
I thought I was going to go next. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Are we?
You can. I mean, it's going.
I guess I'll go next. I mean.
All right. Well, you're right. Joe is. I did say that, even though Joe is. I think I looked at my list and saw Michelle's rating next to Joe's name and just oopsed it. Oops. So Joe.
Now this is your strong suit.
Yeah, exactly. Joe, welcome.
How are you?
Good. You gave this an 8.5. What worked for you?
Well, you got to remember how close she was with the Doctor. She had her career. She was with UNIT. She was like a journalist. She witnessed the third Doctor regenerating into the fourth, and her time with the Doctor, she was very close with him, and he was very close with her. And it ended abruptly, where he had to go back to Gallifrey, and he wasn't allowed to bring her. And it was just a sudden thing she wasn't prepared for. There wasn't really enough time to say goodbye. So that's very traumatic. I always felt when I was a kid, originally watching the classic series growing up, I was very upset when she left. And he dropped her off at the wrong location. And of course we had like the K9 and Company, where like she was getting into her investigative journalism and solving mysteries, and she had like the gift of K9 from the Doctor. But I felt like this episode resonated with me because it directly connected to the classic series. You had a classic companion returning, and she was doing her thing, like, went back to, journalism and investigating all kinds of mysteries and stuff. But you did get to see the sadness and the trauma of, you know, not really getting a choice to when she was going to leave the Doctor, you know, and the terrifying of seeing the TARDIS. It wasn't like she was afraid of the TARDIS. She was afraid of what's going to come next. Like, how is she going to, like, after all this time, it's all these emotions that built up from being just dumped, you know? And it wasn't, he didn't have no choice. He had to go back to Gallifrey. She wasn't allowed to go, but he never reached out to her all this time. She went on to her life. He went on to his, and now abruptly he's thrown back into her life. And then who's this young girl that's traveling with him? Like, why is she important and everything? So it meant sense to me that there was that rivalry with Rose, and Rose didn't like that the Doctor had other friends and companions, you know, and Mickey was loving the whole thing because Rose was close with the Doctor, and then, you know, when he regenerated into David Tennant's Doctor, she was getting closer with David Tennant's Doctor. So it made perfect sense. I love the fact that K9 was there, but she couldn't fix him. She didn't have the knowledge as much as he tried to help her to fix himself. She just did that. She just could not do it, you know. And it was great to see David Tennant interacting with K9, you know. And then Anthony Head from Buffy, you know, being the villain, right? He is like a wonderful, wonderful actor, and I know Russell loved Buffy, and he had to get him on board. But he was terrifying. I mean, the Doctor basically went undercover, becoming, you know, a teacher, and Rose was working in the cafeteria trying to find information on why this guy was trying, had like the special lunch that they were giving like the students, was trying to involve the students. It made perfect sense that they would come together and work together as like companions, and, you know, they would mix well together to defeat the enemy. And of course, K9 saving the day and making the sacrifice. Very emotional when we had to say goodbye to K9, but then the Doctor, you know, gave her a gift when he left of another K9. So I loved it. I kind of felt that the villains were kind of like, I wish they were kind of better, and I wish we'd seen more interaction with Anthony Head, with David Tennant, like banter, you know. They were kind of like goofy villains, goofy looking. I mean, yeah, the special effects were better than the classic series, like better than, you know, the tin foil and the bubble wrap, but it was still kind of like, you know, I don't know.
Tin foil and bubble wrap.
I did too, but like the special effects were trying, but I kind of felt that they were a little more, less kiddie-ish and more menacing. You know, I thought it would have been a little more darker. That would have made the rating higher, I think. You know, but you know, we got to see Sarah Jane appear over the years again. She, you know, had her own group of kids that solving mysteries. She had her own computer, and it made sense that David Tennant would appear again. I believe it was twice, right? And Sarah Jane, and then she got to do Matt Smith's Doctor. So I do love Sarah Jane. She's like one of my favorite companions of all time, and I like that her and Rose put their differences aside and they got to work well together. So, and even in Stolen Earth, that was awesome too, having them interact again also.
And speaking of Anthony Head can do dark.
Yeah,
people forget that, like he can do some.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Repo.
Yeah.
Bonus points if you know what this is from. But yeah, he can be very scary when he wants to, because he is a fabulous actor.
He's a better villain, I think, than I don't know.
A good villain.
You know, just like David Warner was like the best villain ever. You know, so
yeah.
He just had that menace as the headmaster.
Yeah.
You just had that menace about him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he could swing it. I remember when this came out that people were shouting out for Anthony Head to either be Master or Doctor. And the mere fact that people were, you know, Buffy vampire fans were jumping on board because Anthony Head was over here. You know, Giles was now joining us. And now he was the bad guy. But I remember, God, that pool scene. That scene where they're walking around the pool and they're just talking, and it's just like, if I don't like it, it's going to stop. And it's just like, they're just playing F you around the pool.
But the way he looks at you, it's like he's looking into your soul.
Exactly.
Like utter terrifying. Like the eye mannerisms, the way his face is perfectly constructed. He's looking right through you and like seeing you transparent, like and you have no defense. So like you need someone on par with him to compete with him, and you need the Doctor, David Tennant, which I love David Tennant's Doctor. So
and it was a me, or is it like almost like the headmaster kind of dominated that conversation, because you could look at the 10th Doctor and he was just like, I'm watching you like a hawk. I don't know what you're going to do next. And you know, after that discussion, it was just like, okay. But it was one of my favorite scenes, one of my favorite banter scenes. It's not up there, but I'm putting it on a list with like Davros and the 4th Doctor from Genesis. It's, you know, just to watch the play. They don't have any weapons. They're just standing there. They're just around each other. And all they're doing is geeking out.
Yeah.
All they're doing is, you know, if I don't like it, it's going to stop. And he's just like, well, you can join me. I was just like.
Which is like Davros and David Tennant also, like the interaction.
Yeah, that's true.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Or John Sim.
Did you see that? I rewatched it again over the weekend. But did you see David Tennant break character and almost fanboy when he saw Sarah Jane? There's a clip.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay, he was literally as he first meets her both TARDIS, he's trying so hard to like be not that right at the beginning when Sarah Jane sees the TARDIS.
Yeah,
and he's trying to be so like stern and like that. But there's one moment when he's just like, "Oh my god!" Like I am with Sarah Jane. He was literally Goldie's fanboy. He remembers Sarah Jane when he was young in real life, as being on Doctor Who, and since he's a Doctor Who fan himself.
It was also touching. They mentioned her in, you know, the giggle, where like, you know, I love Sarah Jane. I love Sarah Jane. It was like that she passed. You know, that was rough. But
and I love that how much impact she's had on other things. Even like, just to bring back Ace's entire modern character came from a basically one-off line in Sarah Jane Adventures. You know, oh, what's Ace doing? Oh, she went off and founded this massive charity. And then they brought it in for a commercial for, I think it was season 27.
Yep. The Charitable Earth or something like that.
Yeah, Charitable Earth. Yep. And then that commercial spun into At Childhood's End, Sophie's book, which is amazing, and we will always rant about it and rave about it. And then even into her return with modern stuff. So it's been Sarah Jane just attached to everything.
And how long since Liz has been gone, and she went way too soon, and how much she is still loved by people who came in after. Because I came in after, you know, I came in with Capaldi, so he was my first Doctor, and how much that character and the show and the Sarah Jane Adventures and the classic era is still loved. And people, I was last year at a con here in Richmond. We had David Tennant, so there was tons of Doctor Who cosplay, and there was Sarah Jane cosplay. How much she is still loved in this fandom.
I got to say, when I was my first Doctor Who episode was Pyramids of Mars, and she was the companion, and Sutek was the villain. It's Tom Baker's Doctor, and as a kid growing up, and watching it since I was 5 years old, like when she left. Like I was really affected because, you know, I didn't know too much about the show. I was 5. I was in kindergarten, you know, so like this was my whole first real sci-fi experience, you know, and I didn't deal with separation well, like just her leaving and then here comes another companion, you know, so it was really rough for me. Like I was trying to figure out like, you know, why can't she go to Gallifrey? Why can't she go to Gallifrey? You know. So I was really sad when she was gone. It really bothered me for a while.
That and she asked for more money, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
and deserved it.
I mean, speaking of deserving thing, I want to make sure we get this in here. So big happy birthday to John Ross.
Happy birthday, John.
My birthday today. I'm 35, and I have plans for my first birthday. congratulations, my friend. Enjoy 35. I'm way past that. So you'll definitely miss it when you get there. But John Ross, happy birthday to you, my friend.
Yeah. And Ramona, the answer is no. To toss that out there, no. Anyways, so next up then, that also no. My former partner plays. I make fun of Candy Crush. I call it Candy Crash. It's Farm Crush and Candy Crash, and it's Farmville. I tease my my former partner about that all the time, because they always watch it. So they're watch it, play it, and it's like.
I'm only going to jump this in here from Nico Bat because I love that little banter. We are in a car.
Yes.
Not getting it.
Good thing I'll say. Yes.
So
him admitting he was the tin dog and that interaction. Okay, those are good things I'll say.
Yeah.
That's yes. That was a brilliant bit.
Here's a question: whose house broken, K9 or Mickey?
K9's definitely housebroken.
Yeah,
Mickey's not.
No, I agreed. So now we'll back up because I did actually, say Joe was going to go before Christian, even though Christian was lower. But we'll put Christian right in the middle of the pack. Christian,
there we go.
You are the only person who gave this a solid number without splitting up a TARDIS. Why did you give it a even 8?
No, definitely we'll split up a TARDIS next time. I'll take an extra one.
Next time we're all going to get you'll be the only one.
The reason why I gave it an 8, definitely the member berries, bringing Sarah Jane back. I thought that was good. I thought the opposite of Michelle because I did kind of like the idea that they played off of this, the misses and the X's, Mickey had said it. And, Sarah Jane is looking into her past and Rose is kind of like looking into her future because, she thought she was the important one. She was the one who loved the Fourth Doctor. And it was always between Sarah Jane and Harry Sullivan. There was nobody else in the TARDIS at the time. So I think she had an attraction to the Fourth Doctor, who didn't. He was just the alien that everybody fell in love with. And, I'm sure that when he dropped her off at Aberdeen or wherever he dropped her off, but it was supposed to be somewhere else. Just like Joe, I'm like, I was like going, no, how do you do that? And then, of course, Joe, you and I were young, so we saw Leela, and I think we grew up 5 years.
Yeah,
we aged a bit more when we go like, oh, Leela, okay, see ya. I always thought of like Sarah Jane as like my kid sister. I never saw her like a romance type deal, and even Tom Baker has said in the past that the Doctor's asexual. So, there was never that connection. But then even the producers of Doctor Who were going like, yeah, we were trying to get the dads in now to try to make it more appealing. So, of course, Louise Jameson came in and, okay. And then we started having...
man.
What's that?
Congratulations, you are now a man.
And puberty shot up by 3 years in my life. So, but I did kind of like that relationship. It wasn't too much for me. I could see where you were coming from, Michelle, and I think they just did it just right. If they'd gotten any harder than that or any more, it would have been, I think it would have been way too much out there. And plus, you start seeing, this is what, the 3rd episode in, between the Doctor and Rose. So you're seeing that development come through. It's, they're back on her planet. And now we're back out of school. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if you remember this, but the intro was probably one of the most scariest things I've seen in that series at that time. And just like, oh, okay, that's really creepy, no matter what. But
yeah,
I think it's we're starting to watch David Tennant develop. He's now the Doctor, and he's putting on his own spin on it that Christopher Eccleston had. And it's a totally different spin that people can relate to and enjoy more because he is still kind of damaged goods, but he's coming about now. he's still the space god who has to walk, who walks in infinity. So, but I meant he's kind of calmed down after this regeneration. He's not PTSD so much. It's still there, and it's still there in a big way, but he's trying to, everything is on his terms. Everything is, when we get into the later part of the series, he's going to be the person that when he walks into the room, he's got control of everything. And this is the Doctor who, even though throughout the series, he's giving tons of second chances, but no second chances. I'm that sort of man. So, I mean, that we get to see him that. I just think it was a fun episode overall. It was nice to bring back Sarah Jane to see an actual companion, how they would react to a current Doctor. And now we're getting, there was somebody that it drove me nuts on Twitter. There was just say it was a girl who was actually complaining that they were bringing back classic companions to New Who, and I think that why would you even complain about that? I think it's fun because new people are coming into New Who, don't know who those classic companions are, and for us, who've been around like Joe and I and Candyman and Tom, who've been there for quite some time, that is just, I know it's memory berries, but it's stuff that we've been wanting to, what would happen if Sarah Jane met the 6th Doctor, or Leela or Romana met the 7th Doctor? How would that interact? We never got that chance. Now we, with technology, and luckily some of the casts are still around, we could look into that like we have with Mel in the new series. So I'm happy.
It bridges the gap, because also it's supposed to be all one show anyways.
Now we just need Carol Ann Ford to return, and we're good.
Yeah, what the heck, RTD? Why isn't this?
Like, what?
It's coming.
They should have brought her back for the 60th. I mean,
my God.
The one
should have been the 60th.
The one last, and now the last surviving original cast member.
Yeah.
Let's bring him back before, it was sweet having William Russell come back for Power of the Doctor, and I heard comments that he was starting to decline after that, during that and filming that, so we were really lucky that we got, but it's like, before they're too infirm to do it, bring him back.
Absolutely. 100%.
I am still quite sure that is definitely a plan somewhere, whether it's been filmed and buried in NDAs or what. I'm sure that will happen. I can't imagine that it won't.
I'm gonna have faith that either was already filmed or it will be.
Yeah.
Rumor mill's way too much. I don't think it's been filmed already. I think we would have found out by now. We were finding out way too much about things filmed on from the last season that were dead accurate. So someone's going to gab.
But that's also, RTD is, and I've said it before, is a master manipulator.
Yes.
We will
always hold on though. Him and Moffat.
Yeah. He know, they both know exactly what we want to know, will give us what we want to know, whether it's true or not, and even or what we don't want to know, and just to cause the talk.
They started filming the spinoff yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's right, they did too.
Yeah. But in like soundstage, mostly not in public yet. But
yeah,
they started yesterday. So
no, it's awesome. I just wanted to say that I'm not okay not seeing Daleks as Cyberman for 2025. I'd sooner have new villains over classic, or that I'm okay not seeing it. I'm not okay. I agree, Sega. I honestly, I am Dalek out. I
like a mixture. It's not that, but they've overplayed this hand way too much. But we've got, for 50 years, and at least 26 of them, of classic Who villains that I'm sure if we brought them up to the present day, just to see how they're doing.
Well, they will be. There will be season 3.
Oh, I'm sure, but I'm just like, I want more of that. If we're going to bring companions, why not the villains? Why not, we've got the
Candyman won't make a return.
I want him back.
Wish beyond existence that the Candyman returns.
Yes.
If he comes back.
You just put him in the car and he melts because
Well, that's a way how we can get him. That's the way how you can get him back. Actually, you put him in a melter because he did melt, and then as he comes back to life or re-solidified, it's not a character that we saw beforehand, like the famous licorice brand, which he was maybe like got a legal thing. He completely changes his whole character to a Candyman, but a different one.
Mm-hmm.
So is the actor still around that voiced the Candyman?
Yeah, I think so. The problem is that there was a legal battle between Doctor Who and the Bassett Sweet Company, who got very close to their mascot.
You can bring some tech back. You can bring back the Candyman.
Have you ever checked on Twitter? There's an adult version of what the Candyman is saying. I highly recommend it.
Oh my!
I think the Candyman would work with Shooty, with the 15th Doctor. I think it would be pretty fun.
Well, the Shooty era is very much that campy.
Even if you had one of the gods bring back the Candyman just to mess with him.
Maybe
something sweet tooth.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe we could do like a Hansel and Gretel thing with like the Doctor and Millie, and we go to the Candyman house.
I'm also talking about the villains that were just like not all there, and I'm referring to like the Bannermen, which were kind of the joke. How would they do if they brought it back and see how dangerous they could really be? But I just like how. Because they were bizarrely camp, but I mean, really, I just want to see what they would do in the present day of like maybe, like the Weirin. The Weirin would be awesome. The Weirin, I'm trying to think about the wasp and the ants, or what was it, the bees and the ants in that one planet. I'm just like, we have the technology to do it. I just want to see
Pteroleptals. I mean,
Pteroleptals, yeah.
The Malice. The Malice was good too. I mean,
the one villain I would want to return, even though they never really had a physical form, was the villain that absolutely terrified the Doctor. Besides the gods, from Midnight, where he did not win. The flight stewardess, I guess, saved him, right? And she knocked the entity out the airlock, and then he was petrified. He's hugging Don Noble, remember? And he never went back to revisit that thing at all. And that was one of the few times that someone had to save the Doctor. And he was a strong Doctor, but that was one foe I would love to see return.
We should do it a whole episode of this.
Yeah.
Just
all these villains that just absolutely come back, and just how would they be represented in the current times? I mean, we got the Sea Devils, we got the Solarians.
Thank you, Ramona. Thank you. The Zarbi and a minute.
Black Guardian. Let's go. Bring them back.
Because they mentioned the Guardians.
Right.
Why can't we bring them back?
They're from the same race that 13th Doctor Jodie defeated them, right?
The Mara?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mara, well, they already mentioned, right. But if you notice in the box set,
from the
Mara is back, according to the box set that they had with Tegan, where it was possessing Tegan currently. The Mara.
It's still
so it's on Earth. Mara's on Earth. Absolutely.
All right.
Go. Sorry.
Let's get back to
yes.
I took you off tangent. I'm sorry.
Honestly,
I took you off tangent about recurring villains. One more villain in return, please. Somehow have Sacha Dhawan regenerate back into John Sim. Put John Sim in a Christmas Santa outfit where Donna Noble's going Christmas shopping. He recognizes her, and then he goes to the Doctor's house and messes with him for a final trilogy of the Master John Sim versus the Doctor David Tennant in a special. Please. Thank you.
A whole special of just that. Of just Masters. We don't a doctorless episode of just Masters. All right. Next up, Candyman.
Yeah. I would actually give this episode, when I first watched it, a 10 out of 10. I loved it. I love the jokes. I love the setting of it. Reminds me of that typical school setting, is typical of an English school setting, which is like high school. So in the UK, high school is from about children from 11 to about 16. So I don't know what that is equivalent to the US. But literally, at the end of the year, you don't have to like do your exams to go up another year. You just literally go up each year by your age. However, after rewatching it, I dropped it down to an 8.7, or did I say 8.9? Let me have a look.
Don't be changing.
8.7. Okay, so the bit I love having Sarah Jane back. I love having John Leeson back. He played the voice of K9. You had Anthony Stewart Head came back from Buffy and the NASCAR adverts. I'm not sure you remember those guys, but he started out his career doing NASCAR adverts in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The storyline was, it was okay. The bits I didn't like, so let's get these bits on it. The special effects are a little bit dated. I didn't mind the creatures. Creatures weren't too bad. But the fire effect after the school it gets exploded, that would look pretty off. That needs to be retouched if they ever want to like remaster it. It doesn't look that great. That's the other bit as well. The school security, when it locks down, but yet Sarah Jane, even though it wasn't actually in lockdowns, Sarah Jane managed to break through the school through a little open window. And when they couldn't open the door on that, that's where I was like, what? And goes, oh yeah, K9, we're in a car. Yeah, let's drive through the front school doors with a car, even though there's a little window which may be open, you can get out anyway. That's the other bits. The other bit as well, where Mickey pulls the plug out of the computers. No way. That's I'm not sure if you know about UK Electrics. That's a maximum 13 amp plug to run about like 60 computers in this room. That will never be like that. So that was a bad point as well. So that's why I've knocked it down to an 8.7 rather than keeping it as a 9. But I love the joke which Mickey made between the doctor, between every bloke's worst nightmares, his missus and his ex together, which is quite funny. And ironically, since Mickey's actually Rose's ex, or is he still with her? That's the question, because we don't know the relationship between them. Because that's like, we assume that Rose is with the doctor. Mickey was committed for murder of Rose when she went missing in the first season. But yet, are they together? Aren't they together? Because he's a bit like the tin dog following Rose round. K9, love seeing the battered up K9, and that will make sense. Because like Sarah Jane said, that he was, you can't really take him down to your local repair shop to get fixed, because no one will understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, today you probably could. And even like the little things like in the cafeteria. Oh man, chips. Love chips. I gave a portion of chips. It was quite a British episode, I found. And if you're American, you might miss some of the little jokes which were going on, which were very, very British, like the dinner ladies. Again, they literally, how it works how it used to work in the UK when I was at school, you'll literally queue up, grab your dinner, sit down, eat it. You had your dinner ladies walking around to make sure everyone's behaving themselves. I mean, once you finish your dinner, you go out and go to the playground, where you play for like half an hour before you go back to lessons. But again, in this school, it's literally said, oh wow, look, we've got extra lesson time. We're not going out playing on the school playground, we're going back to lessons. And isn't that so great? And that was another bit which I didn't like, is how they were trying to like type anything, and it just looked like there were monkeys trying to type works of Shakespeare to try to break the code. But on the whole, it is an amazing episode. Very, very British, very, very British school system. And yes, we don't decide. what's it called, with the rats. Dismember the rats for science anymore. We don't do that. It's all now virtual. So love that joke, especially when Mickey gets freaked out by rats.
No, it's I
time scales.
don't think we do it either. It's also tend to be frogs more than rats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a shark though. I thought I was going to throw up.
Yeah.
I remember a shark.
So is it still right, because I'm over the pond, that in America, that at the end of the school year, you have to sit an exam to pass up for next year, or otherwise you stay in the same year?
Oh, like
you
the
just move
regions,
up?
you mean? I mean, I'm not sure about now, but it was going on a few years ago. But.
I'm a child of the '90s, and so yeah, I graduated high school '02. It was you just bounced up no matter if you were good or bad or indifferent. Now, if you were a bad student, you didn't get your diploma, but they just kind of kicked you out the door. And for your high school would be like a middle school to maybe your junior year of high school. We're describing, so it's like a.
I graduated in 1992, so that's a long time ago.
Yeah, same year. I left school in like 93, 94. So I know back in the old thing, that was a big argument between America and the UK, is that America had to stay behind.
They used to. I mean, and it should be. I mean, we need to make sure we get these kids to grade level. But that's a whole different debate in another day. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just curious because it's quite interesting being across the pond how things get translated.
Now, and also some schools will wear uniforms, but primarily schools here in the U.S. do not wear uniforms. So that's.
Yeah, pretty much it's the opposite around here. It's like majority, every school has its own uniform.
It's kind of like in Japan, where they like into that quintessential, and we love that quintessential Britishness of the schools and the jumpers and the little skirts and the.
Yeah, no, it's normally just blazers now, blazers and trousers. But yeah, it was just it's normally a jumper, a tie, a shirt, and it depends on the school whether or not you got a blazer to wear or not. Luckily, in my year, we didn't have to wear blazers. So
it's funny. One J.K. Rowling, when Scholastic was buying the Harry Potter series, and one of the concerns at first was that American children would not understand the British school system, and they wouldn't understand the uniforms, and they wouldn't understand the idea of being in houses. But that was one of the things that made it so appealing to the United States, was this Britishness, this kind of exoticness, this romantic school that the kids went to.
Yeah, I was in a house as well. I think I was in Shaftesbury. Lord Shaftesbury.
That was where some of the British American publishing houses rejected it because it was so British, and Scholastic, which is a children's based book company, bought it up and kind of was like nanner to the other publishing houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'll say is America didn't throw a Boston Tea Party to wear no uniforms in school.
Dump the tea.
Anyhow, Tom, you are next. We're going a little long. That's fine. We often do. Tom, what do you?
That's for last.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that means Dave's last. So
just
does that make me the tin dog?
Hang on a second. Saga just had a quick question. I just wanted to answer for them. Is the episode "Fear Her" out of? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think on BBC iPlayer it was removed, but they're going to edit that footage out, I believe, and then put it back. Like they're going to do something on the screen.
They're putting a different broadcaster voice for it.
It's just a scene where he's on the TV. They just got to do something, and you're not going to sacrifice the whole episode for like a 4-second thing. That's silly. So they're gonna fix that. I'm pretty sure.
And yeah, over here nobody knows who the heck that is. So
Yeah,
I know. It's just like, well, my DVD collection just got more valuable.
Right.
Because now I got this section that's going to be edited shortly. Sorry, Tom, go for it, brother. I'm sorry. I just wanted to answer that question for our guests.
That's all right. It needs to be answered. Mark brought up a good topic, which he and I will talk about another day. I see. I went with Roger and I had the same number because 9.6, another. But I had to go and beat the numbers, whatever number I chose. Physics.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm freezing on YouTube as I'm watching YouTube. This is freaking me out. Okay. Sarah Jane returns. Excellent. Sarah Jane and Rose argue and laughing. That's hilarious. Mickey the idiot is the tin dog. K9, always happy to see K9. Anthony Head, who was in, what did I say? I forgot now. Repo,
the genetic opera.
So that was a good guess on my part.
Yep, sure was.
Let's see. Kids needed to figure out the equation. Well, hence the title School Reunion, how it all fits. So I was okay with that. That's no big deal. The poison, their own oil poisoned them, which it makes sense. They've genetically mutated. Krillitane have genetically mutated so many times over. Same thing. Our blood will be business to someone else. It's a shame that they have not brought the Krillitane back in any other range of their beings. That would have been nice for a Big Finish audio. Anthony Head, of course, has been in other audios. He was in Big Finish audio, the Excelsis trilogy through Big Finish audio.
Yeah, I have yet to hear that. I want to hear that.
And he was in Death Comes to Time, which was the original ending for the Seventh Doctor, where Ace, spoilers, becomes a time lady. Or learns to become a time lady. Well,
I'm shocked.
Gasp.
Hashtag gasp.
That's in fact, if you, Dave, if just to let you know, that was actually one of the many incarnations or what do they call them, variants.
Yeah.
One of them where she became a Time Lord, and that's supposed to be all of that. So one of them is her becoming, and something happens to the Seventh Doctor. But I'll let you watch that because it's a really heart-wrenching episode, and it is on. You can probably find it on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's how I watch it through a few parts here and there. But we had an ending because we did not know what was going to happen.
Was there some tea?
Oh.
Pyramids of tea.
To be truly accurate, I donated loose leaf, and it was and the tea I donated is actually a historically accurate variant.
And just to answer the other question, it's at least in Canada. At least we still have it.
Okay.
So, Tom, continue.
But why? That was
sorry.
Fear Her was when we drew was like, well, I'll give it a little. So I originally had 6 just of up to 6.9, but I still gave it a high number because I enjoyed it. I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was the return of Sarah Jane, and it was like, oh my god, we have a classic companion in New Who. It just fits properly, and it's like, well, why'd you leave me? Why does this happen? Like, I'm having these, she has become better than who she was, but then seeing someone she cared about all this time come back is like, okay, relationship kind of things. I can't think of the words. That's how I felt. The destruction of K9 is like, okay, that was it. There was nothing left of her. K9 was everything for her. It was a gift from the Doctor. And when 10th was like, well, that was it. It's like everything was shattered. Her life became shattered again. But then at the end, it was like please say goodbye. I was like, oh my god, I can't control the emotions. Goodbye, my Sarah Jane. Like, oh god. And then for K9 to appear, yes, the cherry on top. It was just so nice, so perfect. And what Christian mentioned earlier about classic companions now can be with other newer doctors, that ironically, that was a concept I didn't even talk about, but I wrote it down on my list. Future episode, who else would you see? Who else would you like to see in this story, per se? Who could Sarah Jane in this story? Who could replace the Doctor in the story? What is the consensus of, would anyone else fit in the story of changing characters around? Like, what other Doctor would fit in? What other Doctor with Sarah Jane, or 10th Doctor with a different companion? So that was an afterthought when I was jotting down my notes.
I'm curious how 12 and Sarah Jane would have gotten along.
Ooh, butting heads.
I don't know about butting heads, but she would just be like, "Oh, he's a bit bitter today."
I mean, I think she would get along with him because she got along with the third Doctor. So,
oh, she would get along with everybody.
Yeah.
He knows who.
It's set up.
The Doctors know who Sarah Jane is, and
absolutely.
I'm sure like 13 would be going completely bonkers.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest thing to see the 13th Doctor interact with Ace and.
What about 14th with Sarah Jane?
Could be interesting.
Could confuse her. It's just that could happen.
I don't think she'd be any more confused than Donna, quite frankly.
Well,
I mean, 14 is basically still 10, just with all the memories after 13. So it's still the same personality. You got to keep the same personality, but a little bit different.
The more I watch this season now, and going back to watch the 10, the less I see that. They seem a lot more different. Not like drastically, but there's a lot more depth and a lot darker tone.
I mean, he lost a lot more since he was the 10th Doctor. So
yes,
a lot.
Yeah,
the whole universe, with the exception of 2 planets that was never explained. But like in the flux, stuff like that.
Yeah, he just doesn't feel. He no longer feels the same. That going back through, which is kind of why I like going back to stuff.
I kind of think of after the flux, then thinking of Jodie's 13th Doctor coming out. She go, "Did I leave the iron on? Did I just blow up the universe?"
One episode, you only have 2 planets, and the whole universe done. The next episode, they're all back with no explanation why. Okay.
But Sega, I brought up, and I see you started here. Sega was mentioning that they prefer Sarah Jane Adventures quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've never actually watched more than like a few clips of it, so it is on the list of. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've actually watched any of the spin-offs in their entirety.
I haven't seen all of the Sarah Jane. I saw of Class.
Oh God, Class.
I've even seen all of K9, the Australian one.
Hopefully, the new spin-offs are better. Besides the Sea Devil one, I mean, there's supposed to be many. So
I know I saw K9 and Company. There you go.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we get a good mixture of old companions returning.
Here's the thing about this Nico Bat, and this is what drove me nuts. Because when RTD ended Sarah Jane, because she passed, because Elisabeth Sladen passed, he kind of forwarded like her adventures never end. Like I wanted people to think that she is touring the universe forever.
Until COVID. Then he did that. Then he did that he did that thing, and then it was like, okay.
Yeah, and after seeing 14 and 15's reaction when they were talking about Sarah Jane, I just don't know how you could. I'm going to be honest, and people disagree with me. It'd be like bringing Ianto back post Children of Earth. To me, because you've already kind of just sealed the envelope and it's gone.
I mean, they made it like with the whole thing about UNIT hiring everybody, where Mel is back, Rose Noble is back. They kind of made it where it's going to be very easy for classic companions to return, like Martha Jones or whoever,
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm all for it.
I mean, and I really love that about Kate Stewart, that she is very concerned with the life after the Doctor for the companions. Like, she'll seek out, do you need money? Do you need this? We'll take care of you. I really like that she's the caregiver of the companions, and she goes out of her way to make sure that their life is not disrupted. Like, she created groups. I mean, it's just, I really love her character so much.
And they care for Wilf. That was so sweet that they got him a care home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
she's a winner in my book.
That's one of the great uses of Kate that we haven't quite seen yet, and I think that's a great. It's kind of like the mother hen of the companions.
Yeah.
So that is yes.
Yes, Roger. Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
That's got to be a thing. And I'm not trying to be malicious about it, but it's just like, she's not getting any younger.
Yeah, we all agree on that one. So
yeah,
one more trip around the TARDIS, please.
Yeah. I mean, at least we get to see Kate return in the spinoff as the lead, because the Doctor's not around.
Yeah.
So that's really Kate's, show, really, and I'm happy about that. So
hopefully, yeah.
Well, I'm officially UNIT, so I'm happy.
Yeah, me too.
So yes, for me, I think we've kind of covered all of everything about this. I give it an 8.1. Just to keep everyone but Christian to be a partial TARDIS.
And you just altered the timeline because you sort of spoke before me.
Exactly.
Time skewed into this tangent, bringing an alternate. 1985. No.
I almost gave it a 7.9 just to really twist that. But
Shut
no,
it.
I will not shut it.
Shut it.
No, I think I as much as I don't like Noel, I'm glad that that is the two lines of bits of Mickey that I've really liked in the whole series is, oh crap, I am the Tim dog, and the you're in a car, and you could hear, despite there's no difference in tone or pitch or anything, you can hear the frustration in K9's voice is, we're in a car, run it into the door, you dumbass.
How did he get married to Martha Jones? What the?
Right?
Honestly, right?
Yeah. He's him and Danny Pink are two of my least favorite characters because they're the boyfriends.
I like Danny Pink.
I don't.
I put him on a mug.
Yeah, that's fair. But I like the Carrollton are great. The gargoyle vampire thing is kind of neat. I would love to see them come back. They're dark, they're creepy. Get Anthony Head back by us specifically. If you're going to do that, it doesn't matter if it's even.
They would be a great Halloween episode. Yeah. They would make an awesome Halloween episode.
The effects don't hold up. We don't expect them to. That's just, we know that this is the era. We're not going to get better effects than that. No, I enjoy this episode. I do like this. I came in with Matt Smith. So while I have seen all of David Tennant's stuff, I don't know it that well. At least I think I've seen all of David Tennant's stuff. I'm not even positive of that. I'm not sure if I've actually done that. Like when I'm doing my reviews, that I despite having started originally with 4, I've never rewatched all of Tom Baker. Still, that is a giant gaping hole in my Doctor Who-ness. Cool. And eventually I'll work my way backwards, and he is the next one in that line. But since we're doing David Tennant over here, I'll probably end up writing a review of that particular source book, which was the last one. And Candyman, there it is. This is the one that I had to come back to Canada to buy. I'm in London. I know that this is out of print, specifically 10, ridiculously out of print, and they weren't going to be making any more. They'd finally announced that. I was able to find 11 in London, but I had to come all the way back to Canada to finally find a copy of 10 somewhere, which was absolutely ridiculous and hilarious, and I kind of love that. But so that's not even a review copy. That's mine. I don't have to review it. Of course, I'm going to review it. So I am looking. That's one of the other reasons I love going through these older stuff, is because it gives me the reason to do stuff. But no, I enjoyed everything about it. The little things have already been mentioned. The oil's been mentioned. I love that. You know, getting a smart rose for a bit, and nope, I have no idea what the heck that answer is. Yay, I'm normal again. At the end was all sorts of fun. Doubt we'll see Mickey in the War Between Land and Sea 5-part spin-off. No. If we do, I think there'll be riots, because he has even less business back. If they're not going to let, if they're not going to let us have Jack back, there's no way.
I mean, you'll have additional casting, maybe Martha Jones, but there'll be no Mickey. No.
There's definitely been rumors about Martha.
Yeah, still.
The person
she just finished her play. She just finished her play, so
yeah,
she's available.
But although they've also got the actress that plays her sister is in it, playing a different character, so that could be weird.
Right, she's playing a Sea Devil, I believe.
Is it a Sea Devil that she's playing?
Not definite,
weird.
but that's something. I mean, you wouldn't know it's her because she don't look like a human. So
that would make a lot more sense, actually.
Yeah,
and take it from weird to a plot point.
Just like Robert Downey Jr.'s Victor Von Doom will be scarred, which you shouldn't recognize him as Tony Stark because you can't recognize his face. Basically. But who knows what they're doing with that here.
Who knows? That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
If they address Mickey at all, they're gonna say he's dead. I mean, they're just gonna do that. He got killed off screen.
I'm fine with that. Or just don't even mention him. Leave it open. I'm fine with that. All right, so I don't think there'll be. There's definitely gonna be 15th books. There's a 15th comics. I don't know if there'll be audio. There'll be audio books, but Big Finish obviously won't be doing audio dramas of them. But audio books of whatever books they write, I'm sure will certainly happen. But they'll probably not be shooty. Yeah, but they might. It's entirely plausible.
Well, that's
there are 3 books coming out in the U.S. later this fall. They've already been released in England.
It's already in the comic books. He's got 15 Doctor has comic books.
Oh yeah,
they're released here in the US.
Everyone's got that.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting take. How Big Finish is going to be settling with the BBC and now Disney, and how that works out with any new Doctors that are coming up. So that's going to be an interesting take out there.
Well, yeah, Jodie Whittaker's got the contract, and
yep, there she is.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens with Matt Smith.
Because that was done before the mouse, because she's a non-mouse doctor.
But also, that's I mean, they don't really have any rights to that. That's BBC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like even Shooty though is not. They have no right to say he can't do.
Yeah, they're just a streaming service. But they give money, but it's
they pay to be a streaming service.
But I'm sure they got
a lot of people get that wrong.
That's a different debate for another day. Of the mouse is involved.
We'll be talking for hours for that, so forget about that.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a little bit of a fine line somewhere.
And you don't want to hear my Mickey impression.
I was going to say, it's not the mouse, it's for Sony.
It's Noel.
Yeah. All right, but that having all been said, let's take a quick look, see where everybody is. Christian, what do we got coming up for the Traveling TARDIS? You got a couple of conventions coming up.
Well, we wanted to wish everybody who didn't celebrate with us a happy. I did not know that this was happening this year until later I got the word. But Joe, I don't know if you were familiar with Doctor Who Podcast Day.
Oh.
And there are these podcasters from Doctor Who, and the August 9th is supposedly the day that they've selected. They've celebrated their 2nd year because this date is when
We'll
the
put the right
first.
date.
There you go.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that existed.
I know there's quite a few people that don't
I wasn't
know.
the podcast on Doctor Who. I didn't know that existed.
I think the first year they didn't think it was even going to take off, and then now they're still trying to get it off the ground. But Doctor Who Podcast Day is August 9th. That's when the very first Doctor Who podcast premiered, and now I forgot the name, so that I'm going to kick myself later for that. But if you want to get tickets over at LI Who Plus, which is taking place over at Holiday Inn Long Island, Holtsville, on August 23rd to the 25th, and you get your discounted tickets. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you get $19 off your ticket. LongIslandDoctorWho.com. Use promo code DWPD 2024, and don't forget the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. Have a great time out there as well. Speaking of a great time, next month, September 13th through the 15th, we will be at our first event for Ancient City Con at the World Golf Village Resort, Renaissance Resort in St. Augustine, Florida. Get your tickets now, ancientcity.com. I got to say that properly, because we're going to be doing and hosting Doctor Who panels out there, as well as the arrival of Dalek Hal. And check us all out there. This will again be our first year at Ancient City, and we want to give a big thank you to everybody who watches, supports, and subscribes. We made a new milestone again at 925,000 views, and we are just closing into that big 1 mil. And we just want to thank everybody who just watches, supports, watches the shorts, watches our YouTube channel, watches the videos from Bits of the TARDIS to everything that Dave has brought on, the rathole.ca, anything sponsored by that, as well as Simon Fisher Becker has his own playlist. You can check him out for stuff. I mean, just tons of stuff in there. I think we're climbing up to 1,000 videos, if not more. And we're putting out content every single day. So check us out. And thank you for stopping by and just watching us and giving us a chance.
1.2 thousand.
1.2 thousand? Jeez. Wow. Okay. I haven't been keeping count, but I didn't think we were that far up ahead there. So thank you all for helping us out there.
Rapidly approaching that 25,000 subscribers as well. So if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so.
Good night.
We're getting very close. We'd love to hit that milestone. And then on to more. I want us to get to that 100. I want to put a YouTube play button right here.
There you go.
It would look
my YouTube play button.
You've got a curtain behind you.
Got a curtain. Wow. I will nail it to this curtain. I'll make it work.
It would look smashing right there.
Yes. Candyman, are you going anywhere interesting?
No. It's been going to be quite a summer for me, which I can just relax and chill out. I think there's a winter stuff which I'm waiting for, which are coming around soon. So I'll be probably more active in the winter. You're right, Christian. I am a vampire. When it's darker, I come out.
I'm wearing a scarf around my neck if I come visit you.
Tom, where can we find you?
The world is on.
Always. That happens at least once per show.
The world is a vampire.
I put for that. I'm just going to 3D glasses. Put them on. The Reverend Amagon.
Reverend Amagon, the minister who's quite sinister, and an equal opportunity offender, as my friend Kenny said. You catch me on youtube.com/@Reverend Amagon, or just look up Tasty Cake as it shows in the chat. I am back on making videos now that my computer's up. A little bit clearer than this going on right here. I got reviews. I got my rants, my raves, my live shows on Monday. What are my days again? I got my thing. Okay.
Really?
I can never remember anymore. There it is. YouTube Mondays, Legend Traveling TARDIS on Tuesdays, YouTube Wednesdays, Instagram Fridays, and Saturdays on YouTube, all Eastern time. Yay!
It's okay, Dave. You just go to Publix.
Is that Eastern European time there, Dave? I mean, Tom.
No, Eastern Universal Time.
Nice.
We control the universe. We control your life. We got the touch.
You control the vertical and the horizontal.
And I've got gloves, but he didn't show up. So,
Michelle, where can we find you? Whoops.
You can find me on the TARDIS Archives on Facebook, and I will be on the Sunsphere on Sunday at 6 o'clock UK time, and I think that's 1 o'clock my time. Just follow, that's Eastern time. So just follow along on the Sunsphere. And my book, Haunted Fredericksburg, is available for pre-order on Amazon.
Ooh, that's always fun, right? When you get the cool new stuff.
It is, and soon they'll be sending me postcards and bookmarks. I'm very excited.
Ooh,
very excited. Very excited.
Mail Tom a postcard.
I will.
Yay!
I will mail you all postcards.
Yay! And Joe, where can we find you?
Still doing the Real Beans cast. Building up to the 2000th episode. And I'm also doing my gaming on PlayStation Network. Trying to be #1 in America and then go for the world title. And then I'm working on my 14th book, which won't be out till next year. So I still do videos on my 4 YouTube channels. So yeah, absolutely Doctor Who. Can't wait to talk about. We're going to be doing a cast soon to talk about the filming yesterday for the spinoff. We're going to be talking about the Christmas special and more. So Real Who Means Cast 1971 is coming out very soon.
Sweet.
Excellent. And as for myself, you can find me at therathole.ca, specifically my YouTube channel right here, youtube.com/therathole, DOTCA. It's either going to have a full stop in there or DOT, depending on your social media platform. I am tentatively planning to go live later tonight. I haven't set what that's going to be. Might be for Northwood, which is a solo trick-taking game. It might be the Dominion app. It might be. I'm looking at maybe pulling out the Star Realms app to take a look at that, because I haven't looked at that in a few years. But check that out. Follow me all the wonderful places. I'd love to have you. I promise I'm no less ridiculous than I am here. But I usually have less people to go ridiculous with. But you can find all of my reviews either at the YouTube or my written reviews at therathole.ca. We'll be around the Edmonton Fringe Festival for a couple of days at least. So if you're in the area, please take a look at fringetheater.ca. It is the second largest fringe in the world after Edinburgh. There's a lot there. So definitely check that out. If you really need it, if you're there and want recommendations, I can certainly give them to you beyond happy-go-lucky. But that's because me's amazing. If you ever get a chance to see her, go see her. Other than that, I will be at FalCon as well as my Renaissance gamer Brent will be there as well. FalCon on the weekend of the 23rd, whatever that weekend is. I think it's 23, 24, 25 in Calgary. So if you're there, pick that up. And since we are well past this, when everyone's giving their level scores for Candy Crush, I sent a message off, and my former partner's at 11,974. It literally just popped up on my screen as I was talking.
Nice.
That being said,
yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. But you know what? I want to do something different, Dave. We're usually the ones telling Tony. So if you want, we can have our special guest. We can have somebody else do it for us to tell Tony.
Yeah.
Before we do that. So yeah, let me go ahead and run that banner before you leave today, before you leave out that door. Please, thank you for watching. Please, this is your chance. Like, share, subscribe. Let your friends know about our show. We are getting close to the big 25K. We're getting close to Facebook 75K. Jeez, where are you people coming from? We love you. So don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Let people know about the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS as we continue to grow. We can't do this without you. Thank you so much, everybody. And you want Joe to do it tonight?
Sure.
Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So
yeah, it's okay. So we're
yeah,
not going to hurt you. What
any of us know what we're doing?
This is specifically for our guests. So,
someone can do whatever it is, but I thank you for having me, though. I really appreciate it.
No, you're gonna end the show for us, Joe, because every show we have our panelist Simon Fisher-Becker, a good friend of the show, and he's one of our fellow panelists. His husband Tony made a ending credit for us, and we've always ended the show with saying, "Tony, take us out." So, Joe, you're gonna have the privilege of just saying those following words, and you're gonna end the show.
Tony, all right, Tony, take us out.